Hey guys, it's your boy Tacho here, back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and we've got the Datamine from the update that we just got. So in this update, we know the refines for all of the upcoming units, and we also know the stats for the units that are going to be on the Journey Begins banner, as well as some information about Iago, the upcoming Grand Hero Battle unit. So we're going to cover all of that stuff today. Alright, so let's start with Eirika's Refine. So Gleipnir, it's going to grant Res up 3, and at the start of combat, if foe's HP is full, she gets attack and speed up 4 during combat. And the secondary effect is, at the start of combat, if foe's HP is full, inflicts all stats -4 on the foe, and neutralizes units' penalties during combat. So a really good secondary effect there. And that actually makes this unit a good contender now. We didn't really have a very good Horse Red Tome up until this point. And with this refine, that's going to make Eirika really nice. She's also a free unit that you can obtain from the Hero's Path missions. So really nice to see an awesome refine on her. Okay, next up we've got Ursula. So she got the Blue Crow Tome, and it's effective against cavalry units, which, I mean, she had Blar, what is it, Blar Wolf, the blue effective against Horse Tome. So that's what her default tome was, and now she's just getting effective against cavalry again. And also, it's going to grant a bonus to her attack equal to the total penalties that the foes have during combat. So it's the Broadleaf Fan effect, or Gunther's Tome effect, pretty much all over again. Very nice effect to have on a weapon, and it's like a reverse blade tome where you can really stack your damage. That's very good for Ursula because her base attack is very low. So having all of this potential for extra damage is nice. And there's a lot of ways to debuff the foes nowadays. I know Broadleaf Fan is generally better because Broadleaf Fan is a dagger and it's got dagger 7. So it's easier for daggers to debuff the foes and really make use of the reverse blade tome effect that we see here. But there are still other ways to debuff the foes. All of the chill skills are right now sacred seals in the game, so that's one easy way to do it. We've also got Annette with her rally shenanigans, and she can inflict ruse as well as feint on the opponents. And there's also Aversa, who can debuff all the foes if the conditions are met. So not a hard condition to meet to really raise her attack, and a very good refine for Ursula. Okay, now we've got Gaius here. Candied Dagger, that's his weapon. And it's basically his teddy bear lollipop, so pretty cool stuff. And it says here, if unit initiates combat, grants speed up 4 and boosts damage by 10% of unit speed during combat. And it also has dagger 7. So speed up 4 when he initiates, that's like darting blow 2, I think. And then 10% damage based on how high his speed is. So on paper, that looks really crazy because there's no damage cap on this. So theoretically, you could just raise his speed as high as possible and you would be getting 10% damage based on how high his speed is. So let's say you got him up to 70 speed, that's plus 7 true damage, which is a lot, but of course, getting to 70 speed is not easy. And there's definitely going to be some diminishing returns on this, where it just gets silly to keep on trying to raise his speed at that point. You would just be better off raising attack, since every point of attack that you get is always going to be 1 point of damage, as opposed to every 10 points of speed only being 1 point of damage. So there is that to consider. And the second effect is, at the start of combat, if the foe's HP is full, deals plus 7 damage, and when a special triggers before combat, if foe's HP is full, deals plus 7 damage before combat. Okay, so he's getting a lot of true damage on his weapon, which is nice because Gaius doesn't have the best attack stat. So anytime he can deal all this true damage to the foes, it's going to be helpful. And for a special to trigger before combat, that's basically the blazing type specials. And Gaius's attack isn't particularly high, so he's going to have a hard time making use of those. The blazing specials do add 1.5 times to your attack though. And having the plus 7 true damage from both of these effects, along with the true damage he gains from the main effect, is actually going to make this guy able to deal a lot of damage for free. So he's worth looking into, and I think we're going to have to play test him a bit to really see how good this refine is. It's hard to say on paper, but he is going to be one of those units that just needs some proper testing to work out. So overall, still a pretty good looking refine. And finally, we've got Gunter. So he's got the Inveterate Axe. And what it does here is, at the start of the turn, if unit's HP is above half, inflicts attack and defense -5 on the foe on the enemy team with the lowest speed through their next action. So it's a double chill, basically, on the lowest speed opponent. And he also grants attack and defense up 4 to infantry and cavalry allies within 2 spaces during combat. And if the unit is within 2 spaces of an infantry or cavalry ally, he gains attack and defense up 4 to himself during combat. So we've already just seen the introduction of joint drive skills on Lilith, where you can drive your allies and also gain the drive effect to yourself. And that's what Gunter's doing here, except to double stats. So honestly, this is a really good refine, and it's a pretty up-to-date one as far as what the effect is doing. Already power creeping the brand new 300 SPC slot that we got on Lilith is pretty cool. And the double chill effect that he does on his weapon is also very nice. So Gunter got a really awesome refine as well. And now we come to the unit stats. So we're going to start with Midori. I'm also going to bring up the calculators so we can calculate their BST while we're at it. Okay, so Midori's got 41 HP, 41 attack, which is outrageously high for a little girl. I mean, she has more attack than Rinkah does, and Rinkah's like a bodybuilding expert, whereas Midori is just a little girl. That really struck me as a surprise there to see how high her attack is. But anyway, continuing on, she has 30 speed, she's got 34 defense, and she has 21 res. So her BST is 167, which is relatively high for an infantry ranged unit. That's pretty much as high as they get. So good stuff from Midori. Okay, for Lilith, she's got 39 health, 36 attack, 41 speed, 27 defense, and 30 res. And her BST is 173, which is crazy, especially when you consider that her weapon gives her +3 speed and then +5 to all stats. Like, her weapon is so crazy, and then her BST is crazy as well. Lilith is going to be a unit to watch out for. Okay, so Rinkah's up next, and she has 40 HP, 34 attack, 39 speed. Wow, that's way faster than I thought. 41 defense, and 18 res. And she has a 172 BST. So, RIP Rinkah, your res is not really that good. But I'm surprised to see that she has a 39 speed stat. That's just outrageous. And, of course, being an infantry unit like she is, she can make use of Repel and Close Call as well. So, despite having 18 res, you can still run Repel or Close Call, and it's not going to hurt her as bad as it looks. So, Rinkah's actually still pretty good despite having a bad res. And next up, we've got Forrest. So, 39 HP, 32 attack, 26 speed, 19 defense, and 35 res, for a total of 151. So I believe that's higher than Nana. I don't remember. I'm going to have to double check that, but I was hoping that he'd have better speed than 26. 32 attack is fine, but we really needed someone with a better speed and attack combo than this, and unfortunately his speed isn't really the best. So it doesn't look like Forrest is going to be any kind of premier +10 merge project, but I guess it's not bad to have him as an option, so that's okay there. And finally, we've got Iago. So 42 HP, he's got 38 attack, 27 speed, 23 defense, and 32 res, for a BST of 162. So that's more in line with what infantry tome units have. Actually, he's tied with Kyria and Lysithia, so that's pretty premium level BST for a tome unit and an infantry one. Not bad stuff at all. So now let's take a look at Iago's kit and let's see what his stuff does. So his weapon, I don't know what the name of it is, but whatever it is, it's got 14 might, 2 range, and it grants res up 3. And at the start of odd numbered turns, if any foe's HP is less than or equal to a unit's HP -3, and that foe is not adjacent to another foe, inflicts attack and speed -4 and guard on that foe. Okay, so odd numbered turns, that's basically your very first turn. He's going to inflict guard on the foes that are not adjacent. And then at the start of even numbered turns, if any foe's HP is less than or equal to his HP minus 3, and that foe is adjacent to another foe, inflicts defense and res minus 4, and panic on that foe. Okay, so this one is a little hard to say whether or not it's going to be meta. He's basically doing the Aversa thing where if he has more HP than the foes, he can inflict debuffs on them and inflict panic or guard. And what's really nice is that if the foes are not adjacent, he can still get the effect off, whereas Aversa is reliant on the foes always being adjacent to each other. So that is one way that he ends up being a little better than Aversa. But sadly, it's only at the start of odd-numbered turns that he does this one. And at the start of even-numbered turns, it's going to work like Aversa, where the adjacent foes are going to get the debuffs and get panicked. So I really wish this was switched, where instead of the odd-numbered turns getting guard and getting the attack and speed minus 4, I wish it was the defense and res minus 4 and the panic on odd-numbered turns. Because the odd turn is going to be your first turn, and that's when all the foes are going to be adjacent to each other. Whereas the even numbered turn is when they start moving, and they're probably going to break away from each other and stop being adjacent at that point. So they kind of flip-flopped the good effects here, but it still looks like it could be a solid tome, and we're definitely going to need to try this guy out and see how he works. But I'm expecting good things from him. He doesn't seem pretty bad, and having a 38 base attack for a free-to-play unit and a red tome, like, that's really good, man. He looks like he could be a really awesome unit. And for his skills, we have HP and attack 2. So he's getting plus 4 HP and plus 2 attack. And he also has attack opening as the C-slot passive. This is a way better buff skill than the wave skills, because what these skills do is target the highest stat unit you have and then give them plus 6 to that stat. So for this one, it's the highest attack unit on your team is going to gain plus 6 attack at the start of the turn, regardless of where they are on the map and regardless of positioning. So the all-encompassing effect of that is very powerful, and being able to buff your allies from wherever you are is always going to be awesome tech. So Iago looks like a really good Grand Hero Battle Prize, and overall, a really good update. I'm very satisfied with all the refines and the unit stats and everything. So pretty good stuff. And that's going to wrap us up for today's video. So let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Let me know which one of these refines is actually your favorite. And that's going to wrap us up for today. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll catch you guys again in the next one.